All right, guys, we're going to get started. Look at that. Look at all the things, guys. Hey, guys, thank you so much for joining me today for another breaking Bitcoin market update. Of course, I'm your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at cryptocurrency.com. Of course, today is Valentine's Day. Wonderful day. I just want to give a big shout out to everybody who's been supporting the community, who's been coming by the Discord, who's been participating in our giveaways, who's been trading with us, all our subscribers, all the members in our members lounge. I want to give a big congratulations to you, a big shout out to you guys on Valentine's Day. I got a lot of love in my heart for all you individuals, a lot of love for the crypto community. We've been growing in a very wonderful way lately, and it's been really wonderful going on this experience with you guys for the last almost 18 months now. It's been really, really cool, guys. So thank you so much for supporting the show. Thank you so much for supporting our community. Thank you so much for supporting our trading group. We really appreciate it, guys, and we're eager to trade with you guys and continue providing good content for you guys moving forward into the future. As you can see, if you look around, this is what we've been working on for the past several weeks, honestly. Scott has really boogied his butt off getting all of this done. It looks beautiful. It looks wonderful. Very clean, crisp. These are all custom graphics designed by Scott. He did an amazing, amazing job on this. The only problem that we're having today, because this is the first beta test out of the new overlay, is I can't seem to get the restream chat working, and also the view counters do not seem to be working appropriately. So, just little tweaks, bugs, things to fix out. One thing that I did fix, hopefully you guys noticed that, is my microphone. I started from scratch. I completely redid all the settings, adjusted all the individual levels. So hopefully it sounds crisp, clean. It's loud enough for you guys. So hopefully everything's coming together good. I can see the chat, so I'll reference the chat if you guys can't see it on the screen. And I will just, I'll just make sure I clearly read what I'm looking at and what's going on. So thank you guys. I just want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. Of course, we've got Solar Cap, Jasper, John Dunn, Gabe Anderson, Anna Subai, Ethan Tremblay says Bob Ross was the Zodiac killer. Hey, that tricky devil. I knew it all along. Mr. Hutt, hey, what's going on, my good friend? Jake Rezio, Texas Blue, Steve H. Hey, awesome, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. All right, so let's jump into this, guys. We're going to go ahead and start. Let me adjust the microphone. We're going to adjust this and go over, see if this all works here well. All right, 1 second, guys. Hey, guys. Here we go. Okay, excellent. So we still have, there's 47 hours left for the Cracking Cryptocurrency Premium Group giveaway, guys. Make sure you head on over to crackingcryptocurrency.com. You're going to get a nice little pop-up on your screen. And it will take you right to here. You can enter using any of your existing social media accounts. You do not need to register a new account with this service to sign up. You obviously get entries for following us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, joining the Discord, joining our group on Facebook, all the good, wonderful, fun stuff, guys. You can even get extra points for virally sharing this to your friends, family, people you don't even like. It doesn't matter, guys. Just get it out there, man. There are 375 total entrants so far, so we will be giving away 3 one-month entries to the Cracking Cryptocurrency Premium Trading Group. Oh, hey, look, the Restream chat seems to be working now. Interesting. Okay, cool. Now the only thing that's not working is the Twitch view, or the YouTube viewer count, and I think that Twitch viewer count is not correct, which is interesting. So perhaps if I... try this. Oh, hey, there we go. Okay, cool. Now that's working. Drop that there. I'll reposition that at some point in time. Sorry, guys. A little last minute tweaking here. All right. Seems everybody has to take time off. All right, now we can delete that. Okay, cool. Well, hey, guys. Whether there's 30 of us or whether there's 150 or 3,000 of us, guys, we're going to do the show one way or the other. So glad you guys could join us. All right, let me check on one thing real quick, and then we will get on with the analysis. Hey, Jeff Hansen, what's going on, man? Hopefully you're not here to kill me. All right, so all this, guys, all this. I think that's pretty much it, guys. We had a lot of stuff happen this morning. I was helping a friend out with some personal stuff related to cryptocurrencies. Some stuff that actually at some point in time I'd like to mention, because it's a possibility that we might have discovered something fairly significant. I know that's being extremely vague, but I need to work through it a little bit more with him and make sure that we've got everything figured out so that this individual is comfortable sharing some of this sensitive information. So I know that's a real teaser and probably most likely not very, very helpful, but something very, very interesting and I think relevant to most people trading in cryptocurrency. But I just need to make sure that I get everything figured out with him and that he's comfortable to start talking about some of the sensitive information before we get into that. So unfortunately, I'm just going to have to leave you guys with that cliffhanger, and we'll go to the charts. All right, streamer charting. Okay, excellent. Now, hopefully everything is clear for you guys. Hopefully you guys can see well. If not, make sure to hit us with your suggestions, ideas, sarcastic remarks, death threats, etc., 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 in the comment section or in the suggestion box in the YouTube. I guess the only thing that I don't have going on for me is I do not have my nice Fibonacci spiral background, and maybe we'll have to go with that for a while, man. Hey, Levon Vartanian says, "Sup, bro? Glad I found your channel. I tune in every day." Well, thank you very much, man. I highly appreciate you coming here. Jeff, that's good. That's good that you're not here to kill me. I feel I feel much safer. Is it going to crash the market, or is it about a trading opportunity? No, it's more about security. It's more about security. Which, in the space that we're dealing with, in the asset space that we're dealing with, I think is where most people are honestly still struggling. Okay. So I apologize if I'm just slightly behind here a little bit this morning, guys. I've been kind of crunching on that all morning long. Got to refresh because TradingView did do an update. TradingView did do an update to how they do their fancy little schmancy stuff here now for multi-windowing. Okay. All right. So looking at taking a look at my open trades. Okay. Good. All right. So share with you guys the only, with the exception, and we posted it as a free signal in the Discord, with the exception of a very particular XRP H19 long, the only active position that I'm in currently, except for 1, 2, 3 altcoin trades, is TRX H19, and I have been short on TRX H19 since an average entry of 745. So, some of the guys got really worried on this pump, and I know a lot of people were screaming for a long at this, around this juncture. Again, as part of my market research, I do scan what other, I guess, some trading groups and people who post on TradingView all the time, et cetera, do. And honestly, if you guys want a very good strategy, go to the individuals that post daily TradingView ideas on Bitcoin or whatever, and counter trade them. Generally, back test it. Don't just counter trade willy-nilly, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to do quite well for you. So I'm still holding on to my winning position. Now, the particular way that I'm looking at managing this is, let's zoom out here just a little bit. If we go to the spot price of TRX, so we'll look at that right here. TRX BTC. Yeah, okay. And we'll go to the daily chart, and I'm actually getting close to adding to my position. So TRX had broken the 21 exponential moving average on the daily. And it was prior to this, I actually preempted the signal, but this is when I, generally the way that I'll trade is I will enter into a position. And if the position starts going in my favor, like for example, if we're talking about my personal indicator, the time transformer, for example, right? When I get a sell or buy indication, which I've programmed into this, what I like to look for is multiple levels of confirmation. So for example, here's a sell signal on TRX BTC on the daily. I get an indication to sell, indicated by the red triangle, the small purple triangles indicating that I should be paying attention for a potential sell signal. At the top of the market, which is a beautiful sell signal right there. And you see the yellow triangle. The yellow triangle is my abnormal volume calculation. Now, typically, when you see abnormal volume at the top or the bottom of a market structure, that's a very strong reversal indication, because it means that potentially everybody that wants to buy has already bought at the top, and everybody that wants to sell has sold at the bottom. Now, you never know whether that's going to turn into a very long-term swing trade or whether it's just an excellent opportunity for a positional, or excuse me, for a short-term day trade, or perhaps perhaps a 1 to 2 to 3 day trade. That all depends on which way the market decides to go. Because remember, as a trader, you're never sure which way the market's going to go. All you can do is identify your entries and your exits. The market determines if you're profitable. So in this way, you need to be able to move congruently with the market to be able to determine at what point, how can I maximize, how can I pull the most profit off of clicking this button and entering this position, entering this trade, putting my money in play. How can I maximize those profits? And I would suggest, all I can speak to is my personal strategy, that I do look for optimum areas to enter or exit. For example, I've coded my indicator to let me know poignant levels or important levels to look for market reversal. Those are overbought and oversold signals. I've coded it to identify abnormal volume, to let me know that I have confluence as well. And additionally, I have also coded it to identify divergence as well. So as you can see here, it actually tracks divergence on the chart. So as you can see here, we do get regular divergence right here, where we have a lower high right here, indicated by the indicator. And then we have a higher high over here, but a lower high on the indicator. This is regular bearish divergence. We get a sell signal on the very next daily candle, and we're set up for a 16 to 70% profit potential trade right there. Daily chart, we come down to the 21 exponential moving average, get a nice reaction off of it. So on the lower time frames, you wanted to zoom down to identify, to be able to exit appropriately on this trade. Conversely, we do have we don't get any bearish divergence here on this candle. However, what we do have, we have the perfect structure right here. We get a sell signal on the daily. It's in the vicinity of regular bearish divergence, and it's also in the vicinity of abnormal volume. So absolutely fantastic. Now, you would have had to use a lower time frame or some different type of trailing stop or profit-taking method to be able to get off this. Because if you're just trading, if you would have had no additional plan to take your profits, it's a potential that this would have, at worst, been a break-even trade for you. Conversely, the same thing over here. We do get a sell signal with abnormal volume. You always want multiple levels of confluence to back up what you do. Even though I've worked very diligently on the time transformation indicator, and although it's a strategy that I've been trading for a long time, I still do not just go based off my indicator. If my indicator just flashes a buy signal, I don't just buy willy-nilly. I look for multiple levels of confluence to look to buy. And if you want to use another traditional indicator or price action or market analysis or bid-ask sum or market depth ratio, whatever you want to do, trendline breakage, Ichimoku breakage, exponential moving average or simple moving average breakage, it doesn't matter. You just want multiple levels of confluence. So I've coded all that into the indicator. Abnormal volume, divergence, overbought and oversold. Let's see here. John Dunn says, no, don't leave us with a cliffhanger, Justin. This is trading. We've enough of that stuff already. Sorry, man. I apologize, my good friend. Steve H says, LOL at death. Hey, Freeman's Cryptoverse. Good to see you in here, man. I haven't seen you for a while. Kamalesh Patel says, who do I follow? Let's see here. I don't actively follow any other trader. I don't, because I've found that over time, now when I was young, still kind of young, but when I was just beginning in trading, I would follow lots and lots and lots of traders. I would follow, well, at that time, Twitter wasn't really a place to be on, but I would follow newsletters, and I would follow other traders, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I found myself, when I was young and starting out and didn't really know anything, I would find myself eventually quite dependent upon these people, for reasons that are very hard to describe. But once you develop a strategy of your own and a methodology of your own to learn and begin how to trade, I find that it's best to do your trading and your analysis on your own. Now that doesn't mean that there are not, let me be quite clear about this. So we have traders and analysts that are part of the Cracking Cryptocurrency team. And I do review their trade ideas, review their trade signals and setups. We have weekly meetings where we discuss what we think, where we think the market is going to go. And we do look for multiple levels of confluence. Why? Because I respect and understand that other individuals are profitable traders. However, we have to understand that analysis and trading are two different things. Analysis is speculation, and trading is if this, then that strategy, right? If this happens, then I will do this no matter what with these parameters. Doesn't matter if I win or lose. That is trading. It's not sexy. It's a robotic grinding system. You have to put the same inputs in to receive the same outputs out. If you do not do the same thing, if you do not execute an identical trading strategy, or at least an extremely similar trading strategy, you're not going to be able to accurately backtest your results. If you don't have risk management, if you don't have a codified, quantifiable, statistical risk management strategy, if you do not have a quantifiable, statistical position sizing strategy, if you do not have clearly defined entries and exits for your strategy. They don't have to be pinpoint. They don't. It doesn't have to be at this Satoshi or at that Satoshi or at this Satoshi or at that Satoshi. Although I do think that that will enhance your levels if you look to augment your trading skills with automation. But like, for example, if you're going to enter a trade, like I'll give you a very simple example using my indicator. And this is a very, very good insight into how I trade. If I receive an oversold signal, a potential sell signal, within the vicinity of abnormal volume at the top of a market structure, price action confirms, and or there is divergence as well, I will generally look to sell. I will use ATR to manage my risk, and I will initially use ATR extensions as well for potential take profit levels. Now, I generally don't set hard take profit levels because I want to catch a trend. So I wait, and if we enter into a dominant trend to the direction that I'm trading in, then I will generally look to increase my position size. If we start breaking supports, I will generally look to increase my position size and increase my position size and increase my position size. And I will exit a trade if I get strong higher time or some kind of classical reversal pattern. Now that's more indicative of taking a short to the downside, but I digress. Gotta watch crypto. Hey, what's going on, man? Mr. Ether says, sup, dog? Am I still the biggest donator? Let us check, my good man. You know, I want to believe so, but I am such a noob when it comes to the Streamlabs fun. I'm going to have to log out of Streamlabs and log in with YouTube. Oh, snap. All right. I thought we were done. We already done this stream. Okay. Oh, wait. For some reason, Mr. Ether, I cannot. Oh, here we go. Super chats. Duh. Let's see, bro. I want to say yes. Yes. I think in one... No. I don't know. Perhaps in one swing, man. Perhaps in one swing. But I would have to get the... I'll have to add that. That should be at the bottom of the screen. I'll have to get with Scott on programming that in. For appreciation, the people we appreciate the most. But I can tell you that I'd have to pull out the calculator, and I don't want to distract from the show right now. But it's either you or Gabriel, because both of you guys were swinging it hardcore, man. Not going to lie. And I highly appreciate the support, guys. I really, really, really do appreciate it, man. Of course, guys, never feel like you're obligated to donate or anything. I appreciate you all the same. But of course, I do value and appreciate and support the people who are doing their best to support the show. I highly appreciate it. Let's see here. Hey, Spectre Security Coin. What's going on, my good friend? Donnie Don Matthew says, spot on, Justin. Right now, break even or a small loss is what it is. So for now, do you think we hold on for a few days and probably the market makes one higher break? It's going to depend on what asset you're talking about. I'm assuming that we're going to be talking about Bitcoin. I would still, I'm still not in an active position. Now, the daily trend for the last 3 days has been fairly weak, bearish Heikinashi here on the Heikinashi time frame. We're still printing bricks to the downside on Renko. And the hourly chart doesn't really give us a clear indication to trade. We kind of came down to that support level that remember, I just talked about this yesterday, guys. What did I talk about? I talked about 2 equidistant lows right here. And I talked about the next area that I would look to see is a liquidity play below those areas. And yesterday, I mean, I had a lot of people on the chat that were like, look, son, if we break 35.50, we're going lower, duh. Well, I'm not saying that they're wrong, but I am saying that what happened is exactly what I don't want to say that. Like, it happened just the way I said it would, bro. It doesn't, it's not, my mentality doesn't work like that. I'm just saying that when you look at 2 equal lows like that, either one of 2 things is going to happen. You're either going to get a stop loss hunt below those areas for liquidity and price is going to move to the upside, or you're going to close below those levels and you continue on to the downside. All right. And I know that's like, oh, if this, then that strategy. But to say that that's what I think a lot of people aren't humble about. The idea that if you close below support, then you're going to go lower. Yes, sometimes if you close a higher time frame below support, you will end up eventually going lower. That's a classic breakdown trade strategy. But you have to take institutional order flow into account. And I think once you start doing that, once you start understanding liquidity and volume and the idea that the market is designed to move toward liquidity, I think you will enhance your success. So I would have loved to capture along. I'm really not eager, honestly, guys, to jump into any kind of position. If we're quite honest about this, Bitcoin putting in, let's go over here. Well, I kind of want to finish talking about TRX. So let's finish TRX and then we'll get into Bitcoin, guys. I'm more inclined to take it to the upside, man. Freeman's Cryptoverse says, thank you, Cracking Crypto. Not much time for chat, but watching each 2. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that, brother. Looks like Zem is breaking resistance. Zem is one of the top earners on the day. So we'll take a look, but I'm not. I did that with Theta yesterday. We scalped Theta for like 6%. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It does look like you're right. Actually, your breaker was... Come on, man. Looks like your daily breaker would have been right here. Yep. That's where your breaker would have been. Yeah. So, I mean, that's your classic breakout trade, man. You get in. And you... and your stop loss goes right here. So that's a 4.62% stop, and you want to at least get 2 to 1. I mean, obviously, you'd probably want to look at taking profits around this zone right there. You just take profits at your first level of resistance. And ideally, you also want to shoot for 3 to 1 as well. So that puts you up in this range, which kind of makes sense. So this is going to be, that's about 1 to 1 right there. That's about 1 to 1. So typically when you, it depends on how you want to scale profits out, man. 10, 20, 30, 40, 20, 30, 50, it all depends. Or 50, 30, 20, sorry, is actually the appropriate way you're supposed to do it. So potentially 50% at take profit 1, 30% at take profit 2, or 20%. Unless you want to pyramid in, which I'm not pyramiding altcoins at this point in time. But yeah, SM doesn't look too bad, man. I mean, if you want to take a breakout trade, that's the way to do it. The only thing that I don't really like is, well, we do have this unnatural volume. We don't have a confirmed crossover. Daily time frame. Daily time frame looks really nice. We only came up to the 0 line. Did a brief cross under, and looks like we're gonna break above the Fisher. We're not oversold in any way, shape, or form, or excuse me, overbought in any way, shape, or form on the Fisher. Good call. Make this. And if we get smacked in the face, it is. Make sure you guys adjust your, if, you know, again, this is not a recommendation to trade, but make sure you guys, with a stop that wide, make sure you adjust your position size accordingly. Good call, man. All right. If the daily does end up closing below this 55 exponential moving average on TRX, then I'm going to add to my short position. Which, you know, this is all just to be expected after a big run up like this. So listen, guys, on a parabolic movement, when you see a parabolic movement, you typically expect to see a 50% retrace. All right. Typically expect to see a 50% retrace. So that's bringing us back to 574. That's going to be an SR flip right here. Does that give you any more? Are there any more levels of confluence there? You've got your 100 exponential moving average on the daily coming in there. Let's go to the higher time frames and see if that level is important as well. Yeah, we got the weekly sell with unnatural volume. Let's see here. Sorry, this is getting cluttered. There's a lot of stuff in here. Sorry, guys, I apologize. Got the weekly buy right here. That was an old trade. Jeez. You got the weekly buy here on TRX. And then the weekly sell, man. Just higher time frames, guys, for success, man. Higher time frames for success. But anyways, after a parabolic movement, you usually expect to see a 50% retrace. You can see that proof right here as well, I bet, if we just chart that. Now, if you look, you can actually see that price went parabolic right here. This would have been back from March to May of 2018. And then what happened when price dropped down to the 50% retracement level? Again, it's not perfect. Remember, we're always drawing with crayon, not fine tip marker, guys. But we have the 21 weekly exponential and the 50% retracement right here. And what happens to price? It does, you can see, it does stutter step for a while, guys. We have 2 weeks of sideways action. And actually, after 1-2 weeks, so well, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, so 7 solid weeks of upside, so almost 2 months of solid upside. You got a freak out candle right there that goes all the way down to your 50% retracement. Look how far it wicked. That's your optometry. Remember, after parabolic movement, you expect to retrace 50%. And then you continued up for another 2 weeks, made a lower high on the daily. Let's see here. Did you get some? Let's see here. Interesting. So you had a high. Interesting. So on the weekly time frame, look, you had your initial high over here. Obviously, TRX's moon mission, 2 all-time highs. The good old days, man. Never forget. January 2018, guys. Never forget. So you have a high and a high on the oscillator, and then you have a lower high in price action, but a higher high on the oscillator. That's hidden bearish divergence, meaning that the rally is weak, and that's an indication to sell. And you get that right the week prior where you wanted to sell. So this weekly candle would have closed, giving you an indication to sell by printing that hidden divergence, and it's down to the downside. And again, you would be zooming down to the lower time frames to actually manage the trade, but looking for general market direction on the higher time frame. So same thing here on TRX, just looking to bring us down to the 50% Fibonacci retracement. That's also going to be a retest of the 21 exponential moving average. Now, we do have enough market data now to print a 55 weekly exponential moving average. So we do have a nice short-term golden cross of the 21 and the 55 as well, guys, which is a metric that I do pay attention to. Weekly time frame as well for TRX. We don't have... let's see, we've got a high volume node coming in around 598, but really our high volume node of support is going to begin down here in the upper 500s. So in that zone, you guys can see the spike on the HVN right here. You guys can see that spike in the HVN right here. It's previous resistance right here, the breakout zone. We do get a week of support right at that level again, maybe 2 weeks of support depending how you do it. And again, hopefully you guys can see this very clearly. I mean, this is pretty interesting, guys. Just this is weekly time frames. All right, so look, you have this shelf right here in price action. You have this weekly shelf in price action, right? Same thing over here. Price just kind of wants to hang out around this shelf. You have this shelf, which acts as resistance. Price breaks to the upside. What happens when price comes back down to that shelf level? For a week, it stalls out. For a week, it stalls out. And then we move down. We move down. After we move down, we come back up to test the area, right? On a wicking basis, on a weekly time frame, we end up coming down and bottoming. We come back up to the upside. What happens when we hit that shelf again on the weekly time frame? We stall out. We do stall out. That's an important level. And then we break to the upside more. We continue to break to the upside. All right, so, and that's where our high volume node is. All right, so I'm expecting that area to put in some sort of reaction as we come back down to it. So we're going to go ahead and plot that level out on the chart. Boom. We're going to plot that box out on the chart. So that's going to be our area of interest right here. Now, 574 is kind of interesting because with the, so let's compare, and we're going to do TRX H19. All right, excellent. TRX H19, I mean, the market is in extreme backwardation. The futures market is in extreme backwardation, meaning it's trading at a discount to spot price, all right? What's interesting is that even with that, oh, sorry, no, that can't be quite right. Let me turn off the percentages. Sorry. Maybe it's actually, I apologize for that. Let's go down to the lower time frame. Okay, my bad. The market is actually on the lower time frames. Actually, we finally have stability. Well, we are approaching expiry. Duh. Of course, duh. I apologize for that, guys. So, with futures contracts, generally, the farther out you are from expiry, the farther the divergence between spot and index price is going to be. As you can see here, for the majority of TRX's time, we've had a 7 to 5% backwardation, which is it's absolutely insane. Typically, the way that you would profit off of that is, I mean, it's very hard to profit off backwardation, man. You need multiple accounts. Now, you can profit off contango. You can profit off contango all day long. Contango is when the futures market is going to be at a premium. And when that happens, whenever the futures market trades at a premium to spot price, you can lock in money. You can lock in money, but it requires using the futures contract as was designed by taking the trade out to expiry. So you short sell on the futures contract and you buy the underlying asset. It doesn't matter which way the market goes. The market can go up and you lose money on your short, or the market could go down and you make money on your short but lose money on your spot price. No matter what happens, as long as you do your position sizing right, you lock in the notional basis, which is the percent difference or the Satoshi difference between the difference in price. You can always lock that in times how many contracts you purchase, right? Times how many contracts. That's the most classic way of trading futures platforms. Hedging, speculating, and trading backwardation in contango. All right. Sorry, let me pull up in the chat. I kind of lost it. All right. Martial Arts Dad says, it's hard to tell what to do with Litecoin. Binance shows a good bit oversold on the 2 hour. but I feel like it should BART down. Guess I'll just go 50-50 with risk. Yeah, I mean, listen, I talked about this to the subscribers yesterday with Litecoin, man. You know, I really wanted to. I missed my opportunity because I was busy yesterday. I've had some stuff going on, guys. Let's see here. Let's pull open. Here's EOS. Same with EOS. Look at EOS. Look at Litecoin actually. Okay, so this was what I was looking for, was hidden divergence on the 3-hour time frame, and just absolutely missed my opportunity. Absolutely missed my opportunity to take that to the downside. That's what you get when you have to work on your overlay panels. I manage your website and manage your business as well, so it's all right, guys. If we take a look at, here's the thing too, man. Never feel the need to overtrade, guys. Slow, calm, patient, steady trading. There will always be a trade that is going to be available to you. You know what? This is going to look better if I do it over here. And please, this is not. I hope nobody takes this the wrong way. This is not. Oh, you son of a birch. Darn. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to do it over here. Back. You wicked mistress. Oh, duh. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so anyways, here's all my trades. Thank you. I won't show open trades out of respect to the people that do pay for that service, but here's week 2. I think you guys remember this is not a reflection of how much my account size has grown. This is a calculation of total P&L on all active positions. So as you can see, I had not a bad week 1 because, you know, week 1 was really helped by LTCH 19. Due to personal reasons, I had to pull out of LTCH 19. So that's a reflection of the percentage of my trade on that. So that's cool. So week 1 was okay. I had a few more stops than I normally like to see. Week 2 though, going really good, man. Week 2 going really good, with the exception of a couple bad trades, LTCH 19 and EOS H 19. With the exception of those. But when you adjust position sizing, for your trades, and you take risk management into account, and you do not let any active trade blow out your account. Here's the thing, man. So many people sell cryptocurrency as a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, man. Cryptocurrency is one of those few places where if you know what you're doing and you have a good trading strategy, you can actually make some decent money, man. Slow, patient, calm, steady capital growth, man. Slow equity curve growth. As your equity curve grows, you put on larger positions. I'm from America, Mod MD. Thank you very much for asking. Dave K, whole bunch of asterisks. Thank you very much, man. Jasper, sup, man. Donior asks, hi, is it a good time to buy Litecoin for the long time, or would you wait a few weeks? I don't want to do anything with Litecoin right now, except for potentially look for an opportunity to short it, but we'll see. I'm doing great, Xantum. It's good to see you, brother. Or the third option is to close under those levels and people short Bitcoin and it goes back up and screws them. Yeah, it could BART back up, man. Bro, a question. You've never talked about your long-term Bitcoin analysis. Where do you think it's going in 2020? Nick Crypto. Well, hey, man. I do. It's been a while. I used to start off every show with like my long-term weekly analysis and blah, 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 blah. Now remember, analysis, trading, two different things. Analysis is speculation, crystal ball gazing, and trading is if this, then that strategy. So I try to focus more on trading, but for my, we can talk about it real quick. I do think that overall, I mean, it's here. Sorry, I'll pull up the big term Bitcoin chart. Things come pretty clear if you look at the weekly. Getting pretty cluttered now. Let's get all that stuff off there for a little bit. All right, so weekly time frame sandwiched in between the 200 exponential and the 200 simple moving average. We also have that weekly equilibrium block if we zoom in here right here. So let's actually take this off. So this is going to be reflective of actual candle colors because I plot my candle colors based on Heikin-Ashi trend. So we have a very strong bearish downtrend. We put in a week of resistance. And in this zone, this price level right here, the bulls sense weakness in the bearish downtrend. So when price actually bottoms up, that's naturally the place that we retest. We pull back. The bulls do want to retest this area. And so this becomes very, very simple. We're just range bound and experiencing price contraction in between the 200 exponential and the 200 simple moving average, between the yearly low and between the weekly resistance order block. If we go to the daily time frame, we see the same thing pretty clearly. We have a lot of levels of resistance coming in, obviously, because we are in a predominantly bear market. That's why, again, in a bear market, man, the trend is your friend until the end. Until that strong bend at the end, generally. So we have the diagonal resistance trend line. Now, do keep in mind that the more times that you test resistance, the weaker it becomes. Same as if you retest support multiple times. Now, I am of the opinion, as I said before, if we did get a reaction off 33.90, which we did, I do not expect that there is enough volume and liquidity that has been captured here for us to actually penetrate resistance. And if we do, it's always possible that a breakout occurs, that liquidity comes in at the top. It can happen. But I do think if that happens, we'll be headed for a bull trap. Now, will that mean that I'm going to be looking for every opportunity to short? No. I mean, if we break resistance, I'm going to be in a long position. I mean, duh. But I will be very tentative and speculative as we come upon levels of resistance, either confirmed by volume profile or our daily and higher time frame exponential moving averages. Oh, you wicked mistress. Anyways, we'll look at volume profile some other time. Now, we also have the daily 55 exponential moving average, which Bitcoin has been unable to break above. Now, we do have contraction. We do have tightening of the 55 and the 21 EMA. Remember, the primary purpose of our EMAs is to tell us market cycle, is to tell us market structure. They're not primarily to act as support and resistance, although you can use them for that. But generally, you use them if your EMAs are pointing down, then you're trending downwards. If your EMAs are pointing up, then you're trending upwards, and you trade in the direction of the underlying trend. If your EMAs are going flat, then you're in accumulation, you're experiencing price contraction. And it doesn't mean, typically you can see accumulation for a very, very, very long time. Like Bitcoin could by all rights go absolutely up, down, up, down, up, down range in this descending price contraction model for several more months, honestly. But we do see price contraction at this current point in time. So as long as we understand that we are just range bound in between support and resistance, and until then we just play the range, we don't freak out about anything. Now, if we break the daily 55 exponential moving average, our next level of resistance is going to be the diagonal trend line, and then following that is going to be the resistance order block. Now, I'm still going to be looking to put on shorts, ideally in this region, or a wick in this region. But it doesn't mean I'm going to have limit orders set. It means that I'm going to be actively monitoring the market and looking for my optimum time to enter. Now, if we end up closing the daily... If we do end up closing the daily above the resistance trend line, then I will be looking for opportunities to long. Ideally, I'd prefer to see a retest of support and then a spring is where I'd like to enter, especially after such a long, pronounced bear market. You got to be very speculative about taking positional longs, man. I don't play around with my capital, dude. But we also have the potential for a. If we look at the daily chart right here, we do also have the potential for a potential long. We've come back down. We've just been kind of dancing on that 21 exponential moving average. I do want to wait for a higher daily close or at least some sign of reversal. The thing about Bitcoin is that it moves so fast, man. Like once on the lower time frames, like once the bulls sense strength, they're just like, wow, go Bitcoin, go Bitcoin. It's, and if you're not paying attention, you can miss out on the trade, man. That's what I like about it. I like that it moves fast, man. Because there's always opportunities. If you miss out on a trade, it's all good. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is one thing that I've talked about a lot. When we approach support on low momentum and low volatility, it's generally not a sign of strength or reversal. What you want to see for a counter movement is when we approach resistance or support on high momentum and high volatility. So something like this, we get a strong reaction. Something like this, we get a pretty strong reaction. This kind of weak, slow walk down, we generally don't get a strong reaction on. So as you can see right here, if we just look at our last example, when Bitcoin made its last daily lower high, slow walk down, meh. Slow walked up, meh. You know, slow walk down, meh. Maybe. Doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm not going to be in a short until the daily closes below the 21 exponential moving average. Then I'm going to be holding up in my positional short and probably holding that open until signs that the market is reversing. Could happen in this lower level of liquidity. We'll most likely get a bounce off this area, and then we'll just be right back to the same old song and dance. I'll be looking for an opportunity to re-enter my short. So, but right now I'm just going to kind of be patient. If we, depending on how the daily closes, it's always depending on how the daily closes. Again, we've got about 5 hours until the daily candle closes. If we're starting to form, higher daily candle closes, like if we close higher than this, so 35.88, then potentially I'll be looking for a long position. But I mean, look at everybody's just getting wick citied right now, man. Upside, downside, upside, downside. Killing everybody, dude. Kicking everybody out. But yes, I do have a downside target for Bitcoin. It's 23.31.36. Right there, bud. Jürgen Ernst says, "Hey all, just when I got a huge mess in the house from jackhammering the floors, the damn water heater stops working. 3 years old, made in the USA too." Oh, man. JF Airplane, hey, happy Valentine's Day, man. Johnny Boy Crypto says, Theta is pumping again. What do I think of GBTC as a leading indicator for Bitcoin? It's nothing that I've ever actively worked with or traded with. I do like using the CME futures as a leading indicator for Bitcoin futures. I honestly haven't taken much of a look at. I honestly haven't followed GPTC very closely. Moonshine already, bro? Yeah, man. I got to stay loose, man. Daniel says, "I like watching your shows every day to learn, but try listening with 2 toddlers." Hey, man. I got one in the other room. Okay. Hey, Molia. Hey, what's going on, man? Gabriel Rondon says, "Show us the Rinko." Hey guys, how's the SPY doing? They're doing good. Damn, sound effects and all. We got it going on, man. What's going on, Caribbean Crypto Show? Thank you so much, Xantimus. He says, "Slick layout, Justin. Appreciate it, man." My wife doesn't believe in me, says, "What percentage of your account do you put into each trade?" I don't trade like that. I adjust my position size based on the distance to my stop and my risk percentage. So, depending on whether it's a BitMEX trade or a Binance trade, I'm willing to risk anywhere from 1% to 3% of my account. And then I adjust my position size depending on the distance from my entry to my stop loss divided by my percentage of my risk, or my actual risk amount in USD. Dan says, "Initial amount of capital to see decent returns and equity growth." In cryptocurrency, man, you can put $100 on BitMEX and trade and see it grow. So again, if you can start with, I recommend that people take a year, maybe 2, paper trading and learning and strategizing. See, there's my toddler right there. And preparing to trade actively. I'm just staring at a blank chart. Sorry, let's go back. Let's look at something interesting. Oh, dear Lord. What was I going to say? Oh, I think that most people can start trading with $5,000 and in, 10 years have a decent amount. When you want to start trading, man, you want to look at it for most people. For most people, you want to look at trading as a source of side income. So I recommend that most people approach trading with a swing trading mentality in mind. Approach trading with a swing trading mentality in mind. Because you want to, if you're starting off and you want to make trading your full-time job, that's difficult to do because A, it's stressful. And And it's difficult for most people to trade full time because then you're going to want to think you're going to want to be a day trader. Often, most people who want to trade full time, they end up failing, not because they're bad at trading, but because since they have so much time to focus on trading, they start taking in a lot of data. And when you start taking in a lot of data, the problem for a human being is that you start losing track of how to correlate all that data and quantify. There's just too much, and there's just too much information out there. And so you're going to be looking at what this indicator says and what this strategy tells you to do and what this indicator says and what this strategy and what these people are saying on Twitter and what StockTwit says and blah 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 blah. And you're just going to have analysis paralysis. You're just going to sit there and you're going to be like, I don't know. This says buy and this says sell and this says over here and these people say I'm crazy and these people say moon and these people say crater. It's absolute garbage, dude. It's just tune out all that bullshit. Tune it out. You just need to develop a very simple trading strategy that works for you on longer time frames, or in the direction of the underlying trend on higher time frames, and manage your risk, man. All right, guys. Hey, I really got to go top up on some water, man. So I'll be back in just a couple minutes. It's 1 o'clock. We've been doing this for about an hour. Thank you guys so much for holding on real quick. I'll be right back, guys. And we're back, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry about the music going bye-bye. I'll add that back in. Asking as a marketing analyst, why am I only offering 3 spots to win? It's not a lifetime membership, but 1 month. If you offer all entrants a free month, you may get a higher retention rate month 2 and on. Well, you know, the nice thing about our group is that I want to be able to, you know, we have a lot of stuff automated. I want to make sure that I'm able to provide enough time and mentorship to our lifetime members and to our long-term subscribers as humanly possible. So I do want our group to grow as quickly as possible. I want to make sure that we grow sustainably, though. I would hope that, you know, our retention rate is quite good. I think that most people that end up joining the premium group are quite happy with their decision. That's interesting, though, because I am not a marketing specialist. I'm just a trader with a chart and a mouse and a bankroll. Maybe that's a conversation you should have with Scott. He runs all that stuff. He's the backbone of the business, man. Couldn't do this without him. Shout out to you, my good friend. Can I look at KMD and BTT? We'll take a game. What does that Jack 23 say? I think that's that's the most recent followers. Xantimus Crypto, man, full-time trader for 2 years. Shout out to you, my dude. Shout out to you as well, these coins. All right. So we looked at, so we talked about kind of the battle plan for XBT and ETH, which is really no battle plan right now. Not gonna lie. We do get some nice bullish divergence on this candle right here, which is a buy signal, backed up by the fact that we do have abnormal volume on the previous candle. Came up. It's fairly weak. It's fairly weak bullish divergence, though. Came up, currently testing the 21 exponential moving average. If we get a nice closure over that, I think one thing that I'm keeping my eye on, one thing that I am keeping my eye on, let's see if it's accurate if we draw it like this. If we draw it like that, we already got the breakage. If we draw it like this, however, we still got a few ways to go. But we got that 21 exponential moving average on the 3-hour chart, which I've been trading on frequently because I find that it works very, very well with my indicator, honestly. Same thing. We get hidden divergence right here to the downside. A little bit of regular bullish divergence right here. I think that if we close above the 21 exponential moving average, I might look to scalp this to the upside, at least for today. Kind of the same thing on ETH USD. I was looking at a potential trade. But we've got a ways to go. So if we do go to the 3-hour chart, if we go to the 3-hour chart and do line closes, sorry, let me throw off magnet mode. That's really annoying. There we go. If we go to the 3-hour chart and do line closes, and then hop down to our tradable time frame as well, we can see a potential movement right here, just like we saw right here. So just kind of crawling around that area. If we go flip to candlesticks now. It's not really putting in the movement I want to see. I mean, traditionally, the typical way to play the line close to candlestick breakout is, you know, you get 3 candles closing above the trend line. You go long. You set your stop loss below support. Would have wrecked you here. So pretty much the same setup would be right here. Set my stop loss there. I'm looking for at least 2 to 1. Brings me up here. Depending on how you want to manage risk, you close below. And I was looking at that. I didn't take it. I'm glad that I didn't. The reason why is because of this resistance trend line right here. Because of this more dominant resistance trend line. I'd prefer to see that same play happen here in the break above. Although you can, by all rights, try to scalp the movement here to here. But just sitting on my hands for right now. No active position. No need to have a position. Everybody's getting wrecked, whipsawed, up, down, left, right. And I am not one of those guys. I don't play around with my money, guys. Yeah. There's no position that I want to be in here right now. I'd prefer to play this on the longer time frames. So we have price contraction on the daily time frame after an ascending movement. Getting a daily crossover right here, not quite an oversold territory and not abnormal volume. Not abnormal volume to the upside. So I would be inclined to consider this as continuation. And again, I do have, ignore these lines for right now because those are for 15, 30-minute scalping metrics. But I do have further upside targets from 128 to 131, 137 to 140, and then even potentially a retest of the local high at 160, 156.09. Now that's if we can get a daily close above 125. We can be heading to these levels, potentially even this one, although I'm very, very, very speculative on this one. I'd prefer to have a trailing stop. Now, however, if we do reject from this level, then our downside targets are between, as we can see here, 89.25 and 92.78. 75.84 and 71.61, and then ultimately around $55. 53 to 57, so we can split the baby and call it 57. That would be if we do reject from here. That would also give us a nice... resistance trend line, which we haven't had on Ethereum. And so then we would have pretty clear metrics for a break. Let's see, can we take this back in time? Sure about dang can. There we go. Look at that. Pretty good to me. Now, I do have to be logically consistent. But I prefer to see that up here when we approach horizontal resistance. And then put in a lower high, and then we trade above the break, and then we trade, and we start approaching the resistance level on low candles, just stack, little candles, approaching, ascending to the upside. Let me see if I can find a good example of that. So honestly, typically when you see something like this, now you can see this failed prior to resistance, but if this would have just stair stacked up very slowly and come to this level, I'd be keeping my eye out for a breakout. Because again, when we approach support and resistance on low momentum and low volatility, it's a sign of strength for the direction that we're moving in. So the same thing, when we approach support generally on very weak momentum, very small candle movements, typically we do end up breaking to the downside. And overall, dude, I mean, we're just in a massive bear trend. Lower high. It's going to take a very significant movement for me to be really excited. Now, I would like to think that we have more upside potential. Breaking this trend line would be fairly significant, but until then, man, I'm just going to be net neutral. Now, if we do end up closing down here below 115, the daily below 115, and there are a few things that could make me, want to see, there are a few things that could make me want to really take this to the downside now. The confirmed daily cross would probably help. I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow for that, honestly. It's touching right now. It is a confirmed cross under right now, but I don't have any divergence. I don't have any unnatural volume. I don't have any other metric to confirm that I should be taking this trade. Just like you see, we had bullish divergence right here on this candle the day before the pump. Plenty of indications to be in. Let me make sure that my... Sorry, I was using 240. Yeah, the daily trend is still bullish. Again, if you don't have access to my indicator. flip on over to Heikinashi. Heikinashi filters out all the noise. The candle's red. The candle's green. You're not looking to go short. Candle's red. You're not looking to go long. Pretty simple, guys. So trade in the direction of the underlying trend. So I'll wait till the daily breaks bear or closes below support. Really, I'd like to see it close below 114, 115. I'll be adding to my position around 100 if we do end up going that low, and then looking to take profit or add at this level, looking to take profit or add at this level, looking to take profit or add. All depends on which way the market responds. So no position right now, guys. Same thing for Bitcoin. Same thing for Bitcoin. 24-hour time frame. Now, see, Bitcoin's already flipped bear. Bitcoin's already flipped bear on the daily. So potential and a confirmed cross under, but no indications, no abnormal volume, but normal volume here. So you could have potentially like jumped the gun and gone short here, especially if you're looking at like the 8-hour or the 12-hour. But I'm going to wait for the daily close below the 21 exponential moving average. Then I'm going to take this baby down to 34.09, look to take profit or add, 32.25, look to take profit or add, 31.21, look to take profit or add. But definitely want to be in a short position as we approach 3,000, unless we get a nice spiking reaction off of it. So basically, if I see us approach support and we put in a candle like this, strong momentum, put in a candle like that, I'll potentially look to tighten up a stop, lock in my profit, and just keep moving my stop down. Just keep moving my stop down. Just keep moving my stop down. Like right now, the only thing I'm short on, guys, really the only super active position I have is XRP to the upside. Only have my initial position size right now because it hasn't done what I wanted to. So that means I'm not, haven't scaled into it. TRX I have scaled into. So TRX I added here, hit my first take profit level, pull back up, coming back down to my take profit level, and I'll keep my eye on it, man. Keep my eye on it. We do have this on H19. We've got this ascending trend line. Looking to see how price interacts with that. And we do have this horizontal level of support and resistance right here. We've already got one reaction off of it that wicked to the downside, cleared out bottom shorters, or excuse me, cleared out bottom longers, cleared out bottom shorters right here. And overall, I mean, if we look at spot price, we can very clearly see that the trend is to the downside. So until the trend reverses, I'm holding on to my short, guys. Next stop, I'd really like to see 575 as my next profit target for TRX H19 to the downside. Oh, Jasper, S&T is actually a trade I'm in, bro. Yeah, been in S&T for a minute. But yeah, we'll take that out. Jur says, so back testing and practicing all day long isn't a good approach. Not sure what you mean. No, that's exactly what you should do. I said I recommend that people spend a year or two perfecting their strategy and paper trading it before they actually put real money in the market. Generally, is generally a good way to go. That will ensure that you have the mental discipline necessary that when you actually put your real money on the table, you'll be good to go. Most people do not fully backtest and vet their strategy, and then they jump into putting their money on the table. They don't have any kind of mentoring or counselship to help them out, and then they panic and they make irrational decisions. Dun, 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 dun. Bro, 3 to 5 year prediction for Bitcoin, 5K, 10, 20, 50K, 100K, or $1 million. Nah, man. That's not really my bag, dude. I have long-term faith in Bitcoin. I think that we will see higher highs. I could not tell you what the market will determine will be the fair cost of a Bitcoin. I think that it'll be quite high, especially if Bitcoin succeeds in what it purports to do, which is why I signed up for Bitcoin in the first place, which is to actually emancipate the world from economic slavery, which do not misunderstand. We are definitely in. Which exchange? TJ Bundy asks. That's MEX, sir. ETH has a lot of bearish divergence on it from the looks of it. These coins says. Well, we'd want to see a lower high and a higher high on the oscillator for hidden bearish divergence. Weak rally, sell all the rallies. Or we'd want to see a higher low and a lower low for hidden bullish divergence. We don't see any regular divergence right now. We get regular bullish, or we get a little bit of let's see here. Where's this measuring from? Low here, sorry. It's going off the close price. Low, higher low, lower low. Bearish divergence right here. Regular bearish divergence. Regular bearish divergence. Nah, man. I mean, potentially, I have no idea what metrics you're looking at, man, which is totally cool. And I don't spot everything. But all I can tell you is that I'm not interested in trading this until we make a move. Let's check back in on my Zim trade. Going pretty good. All right, probably time to take a game. About 3%. I think it's time to get a trailing stop tree. Right now. Take a little profit. Set a trailing stop at entry. Okay. Theta. There was our last trade on Theta. Took profits right here. Around, well, not right at that sell signal. On this candle, actually. Entry right here. Up the metric, the rubric. Posted entry at 23.95. Initial take profits at 24.80. And then I just set a trailing stop at 24.80. We got the sell signal on the 3 hour as well. I want to hop back in Theta. Fuck that trend line. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much it's not a blue sky breakout, but definitely a bullish trend, man. There's definitely no fault in trying to take it. I think I'm going to hold back for right now. I already caught one dip and sold. So I'll wait for another dip. See if we day trade this bad boy. $15-minute buy signal right there. And then regular divergence right at the top. Yeah, so I'm out on the 15-minute time frame, unnatural volume as well. Unnatural volume with bearish divergence. And I'm out of the trade after the entry signal right here. Still an overall larger time frame bullish trend, but waiting for a pullback or, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm good on Theta right now, man. Check back in with it later. I'm cool with missing it if it pops up a little bit. I don't care. Zem right now. S&T BTC. All right, so here was the trade idea that I posted for S&T BTC. You got to be cautious, man, because we're about to pop, right? So here was my entry zone right here. Didn't get fully filled, man. I ended up snagging some more at. Let's see, price was that? Price did I get fully filled at? 508. So we got to be cautious here, man. We got to be cautious here just a little bit because we are coming up to the resistance. We are coming up to the resistance, right? I mean, typically, so you got your resistance trend line. So typically we'd go down to a lower time frame then. We go down to the lower time frame. Let's go ahead and take this off for a hot second. You know, on the lower time frames, you can see we've put in a little bit of a lower high here. So, and in the proximity of resistance. So I'd want to have my stop at entry right now because we can always re-enter if we do end up breaking out. The danger here is that we move back down. We do get rejection. Now it was nice to see this nice zone of accumulation, this nice sideways action, and then breaking above right here. But we haven't had the follow through yet, man. We haven't had the follow through yet. So you just want to be a little careful, man. It's cool because we can manage risk pretty tightly right here. And we can always look to re-enter in the accumulation zone down here. Or, you can always just wait for the breakout, man. So I like S&T, man, but just kind of keep your eye on it, bro. Like I'm. Any users? Da 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 da. Elmo song. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? Hey, Richard Monero, thanks so much for the sub, man. Best of luck to you, Theory. Best of luck to you, man. Hey, what's going on? Shiz just got real. CBN5 says, just take a look at the trading views trading ideas. 1,000. 1,000 is just around the corner. Just go long now. Falling wedge, huh? Well, the problem with that is, if we're logically consistent. Okay, so if we're logically consistent, it's more like a parallel channel, honestly. So let's do the good old, again, sorry, don't take this the wrong way, guys, but let's do the good old, oh wait, that's a fib channel. Let's do the good old Mitre here. And where the heck is that? Oh, it's down here, isn't it? You can tell I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Where the hell is that parallel channel? Oh, it's up here, my bad. Boom. Yeah, how often I use chart patterns. All right, there we go. Something like that. So we're at, what's he call that thing? The heart line? The 50% line? We'll see what happens, man. I think it's probably on its way down. Hey, Nate's World, thanks so much for the $1.99, my dude, my good man. Beautiful world. Did we not look at Bcash ABC yesterday? Man, I'm sorry, dude. All right, let me get to those, man, dude. All right, so Eli had asked for yesterday for IOP as well, so we'll check out IOP. BTT, we'll look at BTT first, man. Thank you so much again for the $1.99, Nate. And we'll look at Bcash ABC for you. I promise. Promise. I felt really bad last night when I realized I didn't look at IOP for Eli. So Eli, if you're watching, man, my dude. Okay, hold on a second. Got to do this. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Happy Valentine's Day to... Oh, crap. What I want. Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah. I don't know, guys. You guys see what I got from my... over there here pretty soon? This is my mom's favorite musical group is Queen. Like, she loves Queen. Like, loves. So I got this for her yesterday. My Valentine's Day present to her. Hopefully she likes it. Yes. I bought a Valentine's Day gift for my mom. Heck, did you guys get your moms? You guys better go give your mom a dang gift on Valentine's Day. Hell's wrong with you? BTT. So my original idea for BTT was entry between 19 and 22, man. 19 and 22. So entry here at the top, 22 to 21. And 50% run up since then, man. 3-hour chart, sell signal right here at the top. We're getting oversold right now. 3-hour time frame looks like it's oversold. It is a pullback. It's an SR flip test. So I got a long-term target right here. So you know what's interesting is that what happened on the 11th was the exact opposite of what I thought would happen, man. It is what it is, dude. The 11th was the airdrop to Binance people. I thought that they would immediately sell. I was wrong. Shit happens. So we did have a nice little bit of run up on the 11th. Nice little sell signal right there at the top. Don't really have any unnatural volume, divergence, crossover. On a 3-hour chart, I'll wait for the Fisher to turn up before getting back in BTT. And, you know, we formed a lower high, so there is that. But we'll see what happens, man. Little consolidation period. This is also a potential M double top pattern. As you can see right there. Yep. So typically, you would already be in the trade right now. You close the 3-hour candle below. So the way that would typically work is if you could go short on an asset, you could go short on BTT. You'd have your stop loss right there, and you're shooting for 2 to 1. So you'd be looking for 18, 19, which would be right around my my lower level of entry. Again, you know, keeping my eyes, I do still got my eye on that 19 to 22 area. So we'll see what happens. We got current support at 20 sats. So so I guess the other way to look at this too is that you buy the close, above resistance, you buy the 3-hour close above resistance, or you know, if you want to be a rambling gambling man, you could take your buy now. You could either use a really tight stop, or you could trade technically the way that you're supposed to on an SR flip, which is setting your stop loss below support. But that's a big gap. So you'd probably be better off with a tight stop. I think that's probably not going to work out too well for you. So, you know, kind of a couple options, neither of which I'm going to take. The only options that I'm going to take is I'll buy the breakout. And target previous resistance or Operation Moon Mission over here. But not until then. Or, you know, if something changes on my indicator, you know. So looking at the 8-hour time frame, which is kind of what I like to follow along with for trading on the 3-hour chart, we're in a bearish trend, man. Bullish trend, bearish trend, bullish trend, bearish trend. It's going to take, so when I'm trading against the trend, I need to see more than just oversold conditions. I need to see the Fisher turn. I need to see unnatural volume indicating that we have seller exhaustion. Remember what I said, man, when we slow walk our ass down to support, usually this happens. So I'm going to hold on to this for now. I'm going to put that up there I'm going to keep that up there for example. This is invalidated if we close the 3-hour above resistance here. And then you take the trade to the upside, man. Take the trade to the upside. Because instead of an M, then that becomes a W, which can happen. Usually you see W's at the bottom. So that's my thoughts on BTT, my man. I lost the chat. Bring the chat back, man. The only reason I made this channel is so I can make a video with an arrow pointing to my username when Bitcoin goes over 9,000. I'm sorry, Theory, man. I do apologize. I guess that was a little sarcastic, man. I apologize, man. Let me be more humble. I honestly, I mean, to be quite frank with you, I'm not quite sure which way Bitcoin's going to go right now. You know, for the long-term analysis, I think that, you know, I pointed that out earlier. If you guys want to rewind the tape, there's no setup right now that I want to take, man. There's no setup right now that I want to take. Look what Bitcoin's done in the last 3 days. We're slow walking our way down to support, not a positive sign, not an extremely bullish sign. A lot of the fundamentals though look pretty bullish, like the market depth ratio and the bid ask sum still looks pretty bullish. Could we get a spring back up and retest resistance at the 55 potentially? Are we still in that area where I want to be putting on shorts? Are we still in a bear market in an area where I want to be putting on shorts? Have we ever broken above the daily 55 exponential moving average? No. So, but we're really squeezed, man. 21 and 55 are really squeezed. So I kind of just want to be flat. I'm neutral, man. I'm not in position. This is the area where I'd like to be putting on shorts. If we close above the resistance line, I start more tentatively looking for areas to put on shorts. We actually do need to close above resistance, put on a long, man. Until then, I'm still looking for shorts and expecting this to get faded, as most breakouts do. Especially initial breakouts, for sure, man. But if we close below the 21 exponential moving average, then I'm taking this baby down, and I'm not going to be out of my positional short until I see signs of market reversal. Hey, Prince Daniels, thanks so much for the sub, man. So no, it has nothing. Well, luck does have a lot to do with it, man. Not like you just rely on luck, but I'm saying all you can determine is your entries and exits. The market determines which way it's going to go. The market does what it wants to do. The market's not going to go up because I need it to go up, or the market's not going to go up because it's touching the 21. These are just my own metrics that I look at for evaluating a trade in a profitable position. I don't see a profitable position. I don't see the potential to make trades. I see most people that are getting into position now, that are trying to get into position now, getting wrecked. You do have a potential. You got the setup for a long. It's there. I'm not going to lie that it's there. But for me personally, patience, man. Close below 21, back into my short. Otherwise, look around in this area. To enter into my short again. And then again, as I talked about earlier, I did more long-term analysis as well. Thank you, Elizabeth. I appreciate that. I'm sure you have a nice voice as well. Scott Zitchy says, Strat, if you find time for me. If I get some time, my friend, I will. Someone got flowers. Queen. Oh, yes. I love Queen, dude. I really do. Anne Marie Rennie. I'm very sorry that your mother's not around. I agree with you. Take care of the people you love. Crypto comedian Truce is in the building. Truce, I've never heard any of your jokes, man. Like, hit me with a joke, bro. Come on. What is the importance of normal volume? Oh, abnormal volume. Abnormal volume is what I mean. Sorry if you've misheard me. Abnormal volume. The importance of abnormal volume means a potential shift in market structure. So you remember, you need volume or liquidity. You need a significant change in volume or sentiment to move in a different direction. Without a drastic change, without a significant change in volume or sentiment, the underlying trend is unlikely to change. So which means if you're in a bear trend and you don't have a significant change of volume or sentiment, meaning longs and shorts positions or just overall market sentiment, which you can analyze using, Pipster or Solium.io. You can you look at social media trends, Facebook, Google searches, all kinds of stuff like that. Without a significant change in volume, but volume's more important because that's a metric you can actually measure on TradingView, for example. Without a significant change in volume or sentiment, the market is unlikely to change its direction. So actually, if you just look, like pretty much every time a market switches from moving up, normal volume, and you can also adjust how abnormal the volume needs to be. There. Hey, thanks so much, John Dunn. Take it easy, my good friend. The most scared position hashtag. How many people for short when it was long at near the silence? I mean, no, man, like not really gonna do the measurement thing with you, man. You're entitled to your own trading strategy and opinion, and yeah, I'm sure a lot of people tried to go short at the bottom. You're looking for that breakdown pattern, man. We've talked about on the charts how there were indications to go long, but it's your own preference, man. There's no trading strategy. There's no trader out there who's going to be right every time, dude. This isn't a I'm right and you're wrong thing, man. Like, that's completely the wrong mentality to have. The right mentality to have, as somebody who's been a profitable trader for a long time, is one of humility and understanding my own limitations. You know, I have a strategy. I stick to it. Sometimes I'm wrong. I limit my losses. I look to maximize my wins. It's not about who's right or who's wrong, man. Like, again, that's like the market. All I can do is determine my entries and exits, man. The market's going to determine whether I'm profitable or not. Nobody predicts the market, man. Nobody predicts the market. Nobody's TA is better or wronger or worse or whatever. There are people who are more profitable, but that has to do with discipline and strategy and emotional control. Actually, the precision of their TA is actually a secondary factor, believe it or not. Let's see here. Why do Bitcoiners want a Lambo? Because Ferrari is owned by fiat. Oh, shit. VET versus BTC doesn't look great. VET versus USD looks interesting and could break out. Okay, hold on. I got to get to the stuff. So we did BTT. I said I'd do IOP and then BCH APC. Let's check IOP, my dude. Just holding on to this. Just holding on to this until the end. Man, look at that gapping. Gapped up on the 3 hour. All right. All right, so the last time we took a trade, was her breakout entry. Actually, all this was done like back here. All this was done back here, so. Daily time frame for IOP, man. Daily time frame doesn't look horrible, dude. You got the buy signal over here. So we're still kind of holding on, man. So this is kind of congruent with what we said. On the lower time frames, we did break down and enter into the shuffle step downwards. Hold on. Let's make sure that I'm using current chart resolution now. So we do have a bit of a bullish trend. The last 3 days, a bit of a bullish trend. It's pretty treacherous, man. You know, we get the evening star to the upside. We get the hanging man directly following it. These are not signs of strength, kind of at the top of a market structure. We do get the abnormal volume here, so we get the buy signal, and then we get abnormal volume, and then price begins moving to the upside. We're not oversold or anything on the daily time frame, and actually the Fisher is crossing zero. So potentially things are starting to look a little hopeful. Not going to lie. Remember, we're talking about an altcoin. Talk about an altcoin that's at the bottom of the market cycle. So we got to couch this with a little bit of, let's be real. You know, look at all this. Look at all this. You know, the thing about accumulation too is, you know, you can look at this as sure. Let's look at, you know, like a white coffee and accumulation district, right? So we've got, let's say you've got the, you know, maybe this is your selling climax. Hey, thanks Theory for subscribing, man. Maybe this is your selling climax and your automatic reaction. But you know, pretty much the way I'd like to look at it is when I see, let's see, where do we see abnormal volume? Not over there. We do see abnormal volume here. So selling climax, automatic reaction. Maybe this is your spring. If you're being really hopeful, this is your spring. You don't know until you break above your accumulation zone, man. So that level's coming in right here. You need to get a daily close above right here. Let's get all that crap off there, man. That was old day trading stuff. So, all right. So in reality, for a long-term trade, for a breakout trade, you need to actually close above resistance, right? So you got this level right here. You've got previous support, support breaks down. This area acts as confirmed resistance. You're putting in support here, down here at the bottom, and looking like you're kind of going for that same SR breaker flip right now. I guess I didn't do the big picture view of IOP, and I apologize for that, man. I want to be logically consistent for you though, my dude. Now, remember, we're drawing these lines with crayon and not fine tip marker, right? So let's see here, man. We did get the buy signal right here. We're not oversold at all on the daily. Let's look at the 3-day. 3 days getting a fresh cross. Still in a bearish trend, but that's all right. We don't have any unnatural volume. We don't actually have a buy signal yet because we're not in oversold territory, but we do have the Fisher cross on the 3-day. I'll give you that. The weekly just made a recent rejection from the neutral zone. Regular bearish divergence, followed by follow through. No unnatural volume on the weekly time frames to indicate that a weekly bottom is in. Of course, the weekly is going to lag behind the daily, but the weekly and the 3-day are going to give us more clearer indications to buy. I'm still pretty tentative about this one, man. The best case scenario is that this is a spring and we're oversold. As you can see, we do get the buy signal in oversold territory right here. We do cross up. We go down just a little bit to clear out the bottom. So this one is kind of one of those situations where I'm assuming that you're in, man. I'm assuming that you're in. You do got 25, 26% potential to the upside before you reach resistance. Doesn't mean you're going to get there. Let's look at our EMAs. Tell us what our EMAs are doing. Yeah, man, our EMAs are super flat. And our EMAs are super flat. And on the daily time frame, we're coming up on the 21. Super flat and coming up on the 21. We haven't been able to get over the 21 since the 27th of January. We've been in this downtrend. If we do close above the 21, then you can set your trailing stop as one traditional way to do it. But the last time that we looked to get a bullish crossover of the 21 and the 55, we did close above the 20. We did close above the 55. Excuse me. So this was your trade right here. We didn't really get an oversold signal, although we did get the Fisher cross right here, but maybe you're waiting for the daily to close above the 21 exponential moving average, at which case you enter the trade, set your stop loss below local support. Then you get the sell signal right here, as well as coming up and hitting resistance. So this is you want to typically sell at your first level of resistance, or at least take 50 to 30% of your profit. And then you get the confirmed sell signal right there, or if you're waiting for price to close under the 55, that's just wiped out all your profits right there. And that's kind of how crypto moves, man. And again, we get a nice fresh buy signal right here. We get abnormal volume right here. And now we're just kind of slow walking our way up, which is generally a positive thing when you do slow walk your way up and approach resistance on low volatility, man. So just be careful, man. Just be careful. Just be careful. I can't give you any, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not going to tell you buy here, sell here. I don't do any of that. I can just tell you what I do. For me personally, I would have probably not taken this buy signal because there wasn't any other daily rubric to take the trade. I would have had to start, when I start having to go down to lower time frames to look for justifications. I mean, look, you get bullish divergence on the 12-hour here, and abnormal volume on the previous candle. So there's a potential buy, man. There's a potential buy. You get abnormal volume here approaching resistance, 12-hour chart above the 21, hit resistance on the 55. I'd probably be scared right now and looking to take profit because looking like we're going to come down below that 21. 8-hour time frame, you got bullish divergence here and here. Here and here. Yeah, man, when I got to start flipping through time frames to justify a trade, if I can't justify it on the daily, I'm typically not looking to be in, man. So just be careful, man. Manage your risk. Manage your risk. I mean, I can't. If I was in any long position, you can't have your stop loss anywhere but below support, man. Otherwise, you're going to get kicked out. Ideally, you're looking for that daily close above the 21 exponential moving average to indicate that you're actually doing something and that you're closing above kind of that horizontal level of support. Worst case scenario is you get rejected from this horizontal level, which has kind of been acting as support as well as the 21, and potentially have some more downside in store or more sideways. So I don't like to really enter when the market's sideways unless I'm on a lower time frame and I'm scalping to the upside or to the downside. So it's volatile, man. So you pull open your 30-minute chart, but I'm not. Then it gets too rubric. It gets too messy. If I give you a 15 or a 30-minute like setup, it's gonna be different in 5 minutes. Yeah, you got a lot to overcome, man. Hopefully that's helpful. I guess the best thing that I could do is wait for a close above the 21 exponential moving average, set your trailing stop below the candle that breaks out, and then just ride that up, man. You've got two levels of initial resistance right here, and then coming up in this zone, you do have your 100 exponential on the daily crossing below your horizontal level of support, or excuse me, resistance. So just be cautious, man. All in the Mine 2006. Just tuned in. Are you longing on any coins right now? Just XRP, man. A CrossFitter, a marathoner, and a Bitcoin walk into a bar. Who tells you first? The vegan. Oh, shit. Damn, shots fired. Ah! Thank you, Theory. I appreciate that, man. What is your meaning on hedging by going long or short on a dollar pair and doing the opposite on the BTC pair of that same altcoin? No, that's not how it works, man. That's not how it works. So the traditional way to hedge, is if there is, if you're going long on spot price, you would go short on futures. So for example, and the best way to do that, the best way to lock in profit is by trading contango. So if you have the index price of if you have the mark price of a futures contract higher than the index price, then you short sell the futures contract and you buy the underlying asset. And whatever that difference is, if you let the contract expire, or if you allow the if you just wait until equilibrium, if you wait until the index price and the mark price are identical and you wait then to cover and take your profit, then you make whatever the difference is between the different. You make the difference in the divergence in price no matter which way price goes up or down. Doesn't matter. You lock that in. Oh, don't worry. We're going to do BCH ABC. Sure. But do you want Bitcoin or do you want it to BTC or Beautiful World? Or do you want it to USDT or BTC? Beautiful World. Yeah, it's, I mean, I'm sure there's some occasions, Johan, where if you go long on the dollar pair and short the Bitcoin pair, that's getting really, really complicated. I know some people that do more advanced, like triangular arbitrage like that. Again, we're not talking about the same thing, but triangular arbitrage is going from 1 to 1 to 1. But, I mean, you're getting into more complicated math where you're going to have to keep in mind the devaluation of the dollar. So BCH ABC to USD. So you want BAB? Because Bitcoin Cash ABC to USD is on Finex and is BAB USD. So do you want BCH ABC USDT or BAB USD, or just type the ticker in? Type me the exact ticker symbol that you want me to look at. There's too many. BCH ABC XYZ LMNOP to ETH. It's an option. Why don't vegans use... Stop it, dude. What? That's good. You know why vegans don't use crypto? Because they can't provide proof of stake. Oh, stop. Oh, okay. Coinbase ticker. So that's still Babs. Oh, okay. Interesting. Shows how much I trade on Coinbase. Okie day. So although I think this is largely going to be BS, I'm going to do it anyways. So we got something to work with. Liquidity grab right here. and support. So this is going to act as resistance. And this level right here, which was previous support, and will also act as resistance. Mm-hmm. One maybe. Stop it. So that would indicate that we're in the diamond. I don't really. Okay. Ivan X says, hey, Cracking Crypto, I remember asking you if you've heard about TronBet, but at this point, I'd want you to check it out. Tomorrow, it will launch BTT betting. You can check it out at CoinGecko. All right, man. Check it out, bro. I think this is huge for BTT, another use case for it. Ante up. Can I trade this thing at? Meh. Meh. Don't do none of that. Interesting, though. I'll check it out, man. But I only trade on BitMEX, Binance, Bittrex. The 3 Bs, man. Okay, back to BCH. Okay, well, let's just be honest, man. Not a whole lot on the daily time frame. I mean, we're not trending up. We're trending down. That's all we're doing. We're just trending down, and now we're listing lazily to the right, whereas Han Solo listed lazily to the left. Getting a nice zoom in here right now. More recent price action sprung off support. As you can see, we had previous resistance at that area, pulling back for the retest of the breakout zone. As you can see, we found initial resistance right there on that daily time frame, pulled back just a little bit, and then continued the breakout to the upside. All right, came back down, found some nice bounce off support with oversold abnormal volume right there. Didn't really get confirmation to be in the long until that candle right there. Then we did kind of enter into a little bit of a baby bullish trend. What do we see here? Stop it. Yeah, we got hidden bearish divergence right there where we have a higher high followed by a lower high on price action, followed by a lower high and a higher high on our oscillator, indicating underlying weakness. Sell the rallies. Poof, not bad. We get a nice explosion, just kind of when everything popped off here not too long ago. And then just kind of following along right with Bitcoin, just a little bit more volatile, like kind of more like EOS and LTC. So just popping right back down and doing nothing, going absolutely flat, man. So, you know, just in the same vein as BTC and ETH, let's assume that you're going to try and enter a position here. All right. So let's say you're going to go short. Okay. So your stop loss is going to be here. Let's say you're going to go long. So your stop loss is going to be here. Let's say that you're going long and your stop loss is going to be here. You're probably going to get kicked out of your position. Let's say you're going short and your stop loss is right here. You're probably going to get kicked out of your position. Look what's happened for the last 3 days. Price contraction on the 3-day daily time frame. Fisher crossing under zero. Overall bearish trend. You're inclined to take this to the downside. And not counter trend trade. The other way to look at it, obviously, is an SR test. Because, again, you have resistance right here. same area where you do get that that bearish divergence, that hidden bearish divergence. This price has acted as support, acted as resistance, acted as support. So it's been tested multiple times to the up and downside. So, I mean, you could say daily close above or below this level. You'd want to go down to the lower time frames if you want to be in a position. So let's just go down to the lower time frames. Another 3-hour chart and see how we're interacting with this level. Seems about right. Lower lows. Abnormal volume for a liquidity grab to the downside, followed by a big movement up. However, it was just the lower low. Sell the rallies on abnormal volume. Pull down. Let's see. We get abnormal volume on a Darth Maul candle right here, kicking everybody out of positions, kicking bottom shorters and bottom longers out of their positions. Overall, inclined to take this to the downside, man, until you get a nice break of the... until you get a nice break of this, a nice break of this resistance, or until you get a higher daily high. Not really inclined to be in a position either way. I'd rather be in a short. I'd rather be in a short because the market is trending to the downside, but the market's sideways, so just wait for something to happen, man. Don't have to be in a position on something like this. If you see, we've got this SR test right here. Looks like we're forming a little bit of a descending triangle, but that's not taking into account these lows. But we've had 2 grabs for liquidity, but no follow through. No follow through on the grabs for liquidity. So you got to wait for a nice close above the trend line. You could potentially take the breakout trade. Typically, you want to see 3 candles above the trend line before you actually enter. Then you set your stop loss below support. But for right now, I mean, look, every time shorting every rally on abnormal volume has worked out really well for you, man. And this is a fake out of all positions. So fake out's already occurred. Price moving to the downside right now. Again, I'd be more inclined to be in a short at this point in time. Wouldn't really be an interested buyer until we close above the resistance trend line for a decent amount of time. If the daily makes a higher high, or if the daily at least closes above that trend line as well, and trades higher than the actual candle bodies of these, puts in a little bit of bullish reaction here. Baby bull. Yeah, man. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, just lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. You know, accumulation, a little bit of accumulation right here. And you got the 3-hour buy signal right here. Got the 3-hour sell signal right there. And got some reversal divergence right here. You got some bullish divergence right here at the bottom. Could have taken that trade to the upside. Then you got the abnormal sell signal. Again, you want to be looking to enter and exit the market on abnormal volume. But when that abnormal volume gives you clear delineation of which way to go, look at the candle where there was abnormal volume. Doesn't give you any indication on which way to go. Again, I'd be more inclined to take this to the downside and have a stop right here. Oh, I get it. I get it. Shiz just got real. He said, I got one more. Altcoins. That actually might have been the funniest one, dude. That took me a while. That was a thinker, man. I'm not going to lie. That one was really a thinker. Ivan X says it has more volume. Then it shows it is very early, yet I could provide you some new exchanges not listed yet because they are new for Tron. I believe this is a huge opportunity to raise capital. I'm not advertising or anything. I just want to share some information I've got. Tron Trade is one of the exchanges you can trade Annie. It has a decent amount of volume. Main point of the tokens is dividends. By owning Ante, you are the house, and if the casino profits, you might get a share, or you get a share. Might seem like BS, but at huge volume, at least 200 million TRX, 1 billion at all-time high. Hey, man. I don't want to be overly negative to something you clearly seem excited about. You know, just my personal preference, man. Like, I'm a trader, not much of an investor, and that's not absolutely true. I have lots of investments: gold, crude oil, But I'm not really, you know, in a bear market, I'm not really, I'm not Warren Buffett, man. You know, I know that that's what everybody thinks they need to do. They need to buy when everything is at the absolute bottom. The difference between me and the difference between a multimillionaire who can just swing, you know, guys, like, I'm not going to lie. $100,000 is a lot of money to me. Just because, you know, I can swing around and pack a $30,000 punch doesn't mean that I'm a millionaire. I'm not. You know, I'm going to have to, I've been grinding my butt off for a long time trading, developing a profitable strategy, been profitable for quite a long time trading markets, traditional options, equities, Forex, and for the last 2 years, cryptocurrency. It's been trickier, but I like it. I like the community. And, you know, but I'm still going to have to work for the next 15 to 20 years to retire. But luckily for me, that'll be at 45, 50, as opposed to like 68, 70, where everybody else is getting to retire. I get to work from my home. So saying all that, it's not that I'm necessarily against your project. Or that I'm not interested in it. It's just, I don't know. It's just not really what I do, man. Sorry. You know, I kind of like to trade high volume, high liquidity coins. I try to stay away from speculative stuff, especially in this particular market. I never got into ICOs or did anything like that. I mean, I'd be willing to check it out, but it's not really my alley, man. It's not really what I do. I apologize. Do I think that BCH will survive? No, I really don't think so, man. I really don't think so. I mean, I have long-term fundamental faith in Bitcoin and what Bitcoin purports to do. I think that the whole BCH thing I think it's just all nonsense, man, that has really negatively impacted the community. I wish Roger Ver and Fake Toshi would just, you know, again, that's bullshit to say too, man, because everybody's entitled to innovate and try their own thing, and everybody wants to be like, well, if we just kept the nice, pure, clean Bitcoin and nobody went out and experimented, then everything would be great. No, then everything would suck because, excuse me, innovation and revolution is how actually technology improves and how mankind improves. So, you know, they're fully entitled to do their rights, but, you know, I don't see how, increasing the block size is a security vulnerability, man. It's just period. There are more elegant, more technical, better solutions to scaling than just arbitrarily raising the block size. That's a security vulnerability. And if you don't believe me, just ask any Bitcoin developer. Follow Luke Jr. on Twitter. On your indicator for abnormal volume, are all your parameters able to have an alert set upon them? Yes. So if we look at the alerts for my indicator, for example, we can set alerts for regular bearish divergence, regular bullish divergence, hidden bullish divergence, regular bearish divergence, hidden bullish divergence, unnatural volume, a bullish crossover, a bearish cross under, entering a bearish trend, or entering a bullish trend. She's a moonin'. This one's my personal favorite. BTFD. Or some of you may not be familiar with this. STFT. Sell the fucking top. All right, guys. No, it's all good, man. Don't worry about it, Ivan X. I think gold's a great investment. I think that's why I actually think that XRP is going to be a moneymaker, because I think that, crypto, I believe long-term in Bitcoin, but that's like long-term for me. I believe in it fundamentally and very powerfully. I think that XRP or something like XRP, something that's a little bit more centralized, I think that banks and financial institutions will probably accrue to something like that a little bit more quickly than they will accrue to something like Bitcoin and go full on decentralized in the short term. So that's just my personal opinion. I think that Bitcoin will retain a lot of value and overall be the unless something better than Bitcoin is created, be the solution to global currency. But that's just my personal investment thesis. I know it's 2 in the swear jar today. My AI bot bought LRC a while ago. All right, well, we'll put LRC on the list of stuff to look at. But I got a jet, guys. I got to go get some lunch and then I got to come back and do some trading, man. I got to find. Yes, I absolutely. XRP is a scam, but that doesn't mean it can't make me money. I completely agree with you. Gold might disappear from the investment space. How do you feel about that? Crypto taking gold's place? Yeah, I mean, but it's going to take time, man. It's going to take a lot of time. And with the way that our current political system is trying to just run train on everything that makes any goddamn amount of common sense, dude. I mean, Jesus. I feel pretty safe being in precious metals or diversifying the precious metals for sure. And cryptocurrency, of course. BTC crashing. I wouldn't say we're crashing yet, dude. Fuck it. What's going to happen? Tune in next time, man. Yeah, I've heard of Hyperwave. He's all right, dude. But I think that I don't know anybody that, as a trader, I don't know anybody that profitably trades Elliott wave theory. Everybody that I know who's a profitable trader does what I do. Not exactly what I do, but something similar. All right, guys, so that's all for today, guys. Let's do the regular end of the show stuff, man. Thank you so much, guys. Today was a great show. Hopefully you guys like the new overlay, the new layout. Highly appreciate you guys. You guys have been absolutely fantastic. Very, very, very great show today, man. Very, very glad to do the show. Make sure that you guys, there's only 45 hours left, man. Head on over to crackingcryptocurrency.com. You'll get a pop-up. You can click it. You can participate in the giveaway. We are giving away 3 spots for 1 month for access to our premium trading group for free. It costs you nothing. You just get comped access. You'll get access to all our trade signals and setups, mentorship, our webinar series, our live trade tracker, our database, all the good stuff, all the stuff that comes with membership, access to the private Discord. You can log in and compete using any of your existing social media accounts. You don't need to register or create a new account. If this is your first, so make sure you guys go take advantage of that. If this is your guys' first time to the show and you like the content and you want to support the show, make sure to hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up. It really helps us push us up it really does help push us up the browse rankings. And I think that this is valuable information that people need to see. And I would like to get that very, very valuable information in front of as many eyeballs as possible. And if you think that this is valuable information as well, then please support us and help us get this information out to traders who need a little bit of guidance. If you'd like to support the show in a more substantial way, please come on over to twitch.tv/crackingcrypto. Link is in the description down below. And support us by giving us a follow or a subscription on Twitch. Helps keep the lights on. We appreciate the support. You can also check out a one-time donation on Patreon or by purchasing a shirt or coffee mug on our merch store as well. If you guys have interest in the premium trading group and would like to elevate your trading skills, then of course that is at premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. We'd love to see you in our group, guys. Until next time, I think that's about it, guys. So, of course, today was another breaking Bitcoin market update. I am your host, lead analyst, and senior mentor at crackingcryptocurrency.com, Justin Wise. I am legally obligated to say that, I believe, at the end of every video. Hopefully, today's show has helped crack cryptocurrency for you. And until tomorrow, guys, trade safely and have a good evening.